Hey everyone, my name is Kabi and today we gonna watch the game on the Ideal map, or Ideal I guess it's called correctly. And this is the mirror matchup between the two light players. In the bottom left as a blue light player appears Joshua Lim, and in the top right corner appears Stark Republic. This battle was shared with us on our Discord server, so thank you guys for sharing it. We made a call in the recent video and also in our social media to welcome the players to share the battles, so a few people went for it, so I even have a few games to pick from, so I decided to pick this one for the English YouTube channel. And I can once again remind you that if you guys play a cool battle and you think it cool enough, it's worth it to make a video about it on YouTube, you can go to our Discord server and enter the channel that's called Share a Battle, and drop there a screenshot of the battle or launch the replay of the battle and make screenshot from there, and drop a couple of lines where you think that game was cool enough. If I will like it too, I can make a video like this one. So, in this one, we can see Mr. Joshua Lim for some reason went for the farm close to the forest line. It looks like it's supposed to be the sawmill, but rather than that it is the farm. I believe that he might have done it just to minimize the distance that worker would have to pass before start. So it is eventually translates to the mining time, of course. So you wanna build your buildings as close as you can if you don't have the serious reason to make them further. And in this kind of players, in this case, the players decided to build a building slightly further now. So we can see Mr. Stark goes for the second Rex before the tier 2, and in the meantime Joshua went for the Dwarven Forge. And here is the Castle 2 already, so I believe what we're gonna see now should be probably an Altar of Heroes, but rather than that the sawmill comes first. In the interesting position in the middle of the forest. I like it actually, because when you build it closer to the top side, probably this part of the forest will be cut shortly, so you will have to build another one. Not a problem in the later in the game, but still you don't really wanna spend additional money, of course. And the tighter the game is, the closer to your skill your opponent is, the less you want to spend any additional resources when you don't really have to. Speaking of which, we can see Joshua built an early artillery tower, and I'm really not the biggest fan of that. On my personal channel that's called Kabi War Legends, you can find a video that's called No Unit Strategy, and in that strategy I really built the quick towers, the quick defensive towers, but you need to be able to build all the 3 heroes to play that strat, and you also really want to have the tier 4, because when you don't have the tier 4 yet, it is not really that cool to play the 3 heroes. But anyway, that video is quite old, so probably all of you guys have already watched it, but if you haven't, then probably I can recommend that one to you as well. But here, in this game, we can see Joshua taking the mana well, and Mr. Stark ignores the mana well for now, and rather than that he decided to go for their upcoming chest. And actually even 2 chests at the same time, so he took all of his swordsmen to the bottom one and make a good trade here. It seems that the red swordsmen are gonna win the fight. And what I really like to do as the losing player in a situation like this, I really like to draw the guys into the reds. Because the reds have an incredible amount of damage, and when they stand so close to the chest, you can actually block the chest with the reds. So you can engage one of the reds, and then they will also attack the units here, because they have quite a big chase radius. I believe it is about 7 cells or even 8 cells, so those who can attack distance, who are ranged, they can really shoot afar. So it is an interesting stuff, so you can use the neutrals to block the objects sometimes. And the Idle map really can let you make this trick. So also Joshua decided to go for an elven tree, which is in the new design already, by the way. I saw that not every player liked the new appearance, but the idea of the new appearance to make those colors closer to the elven biome, what we called it. Here is the normal summer biome, so it is a normal summer map, but some other green maps, you can notice they are a bit green-blue, like the darker green, so we call it the elven maps. So those elven maps are better suits for this design, because obviously we wanted the elven structures to fit the elven maps, so that is the reason for the change of the appearance of the elven tree. And also just a little improvements of the visual. It is way more accurate now. They more streaked in a way. So anyways, you can see the video in our socials. We showed how it was and how it became, the recent graphics and the new graphics. And in the meantime, players engaged each other in the middle chest. So, but the bombardiers used the artillery strikes, and it seems to me like the red player had an upper hand in the beginning, but it is hard to tell really, because everyone have the same units. But it still seems like the red warsmith are slightly on top, but are they really? Because we can see the 2 healers against only 1, and interestingly Joshua decided to go for that one. So now it is 2 against nothing, and in the end my conclusion probably wasn't right, but the red player reinforces quicker. So we can see the archer coming into fight. Hitting the bombardier probably is not the right call for the archer though. I would strongly recommend to go for the warsmith. A perfect artillery strikes out of both players actually. The red player perfectly used the feature that the spread of the bombardier is only maximal when you shoot from the maximal distance. And the red bombardier was really close to those 2 healers he intended to attack, and thus the spread was minimal. So he hit all the shoots to the targets he wanted. So he just one-shotted, bursted both of the healers with 1 artillery strike, and if he would instead shoot from the further distance, he would miss a lot of shots and he wouldn't kill the units. It is still good if you wanna cover a big area. For example, like a big area of the skeleton archers, who are very fragile, so it is okay if you don't hit a single skeleton with a lot of cannonballs. But healer have more HP, so probably you wanna take him down quickly with a lot of cannonballs at once. So it is 10th minute mark anyway, so the red player decided to go for the bottom chest, and with only one unit he tries to sneak away the other chest, but it seemed to me like a misclick. But then he reordered the healer to the top chest, and then the red player is probably not about to fight here because he doesn't have a hero, and suddenly the blue player decided to go for the Tower of Light Magic, feeling that he has an upper hand in this situation and probably he can try to continue to start pushing from this position. Develop this attack, should we rather say, but the Stark's Bombardier was on top of this, so he took down quickly that tower, and in the meantime Mr. Stark also went for the tier 2 barracks, so he decided to go for the guardsman, which actually makes sense because Joshua decided to add the knights, probably based on the fact that he saw his enemy adding the archers, so he decided to go for the knights, who also work good against the bombardier. And this is why the guardsmen are a good decision. But also bikers come into play out of the red player. But interestingly enough, blue players seem to put up a good fight here. Knights still alive. I'm not really fond of trying to take down the paladin with the knights, but the paladin still have quite a bit of time left before the next dome. The red player also uses the bombardier in a good fashion, in a convincing way we may call it, but paladin didn't survive it until the dome coming into play, so paladin is being rehired, or rather resummoned, because we hire the units and summon the heroes. And yet another Tower of Light Magic, probably not gonna be built again, not gonna be finished. And it seems that this defense of the red player will be successful in the end. He would really love to take down the bombardier, but at the same time, is it even that important? Because when the hero is low, it will take a tremendous amount of time to heal it with a single healer. So your opponent will rather have to build even more heroes, which still takes a lot of time. Here we can see even the 2 sanctuaries. I wonder if this player is about to add the wind mages. That might be the case, but at the same time, wind mages are really expensive, so you really want to rely on something more than just 1 gold mine to be able to build the wind mages out of 2 sanctuaries. So you rather need a second base or try to loot all the chests on the map. I probably have a gold bank, but none of the players have the gold banks now. Both of them really spend the money quick enough. And here, what I mentioned previously, that even with the 2 healers, this bombardier is still not full HP. And the same here, but the red guy really have way more. So the blue guy had to retreat here up to the tower, and yeah, that makes sense. Oh, here comes the summoning stone, which I entirely forgot about. But the red player didn't. And also the elemental knows where is the closest building. He smells it. Well, technically he just finds the closest building and that's it. But we can tell that he feels it by the movements of the earth. Anyway, the tower destroyed. Elemental goes further to the blue player base. And he goes straight for the artillery tower indeed. And at the meantime, red player tries to help. Tries to make an action here. To drag the blue units. So that they would have to fight the red units. And in the meantime, Elemental can destroy something in the base. So the red player wins a time for the golem. And it seems that he will even kill the blue paladin here. Healers have a good time healing each other, not taking any care about the heroes of the other units. Well, suddenly the blue bombardier come into play, almost destroying the healers, trying to take him down. And the red player decided to retreat. The elemental still survives, destroying the second altar of heroes, but heroes of the blue player are actually alive. And now that the elemental decided to go for the castle, it will probably not be a hard task anymore to take him down, because the castle is very durable, so an elemental cannot really destroy it quickly. And now the red player decided to take the second mana well too. Unfortunate micro, because the fire elemental destroyed the biker, which is quite an expensive loss. You really want to make sure that the elemental starts to attack the hero. And the problem that happens usually is where with all your units you stand a bit away from the elemental, and then you choose everyone and decided to go, so you just tap on it, and your paladins still have to come closer because it is melee unit, melee hero, and someone like biker starts to attack right there, and thus elemental starts to attack back and fire back, and that is why they start to attack a biker or the archer or probably some air units like aeronaut. So you really want to make sure that none but your hero makes the first strike. So you want to choose a particular hero, and then when it starts attacking, all of your units that stand by will start attacking along with him. So that's what you want to do to make sure that the elemental will hit hero, and you can use the Dome of the Light or the Interactive, obviously the two best abilities to tank against the elemental. So anyway, 12-minute chests coming soon. Interestingly, the blue player decided to go for the crossbow tower. We see the second factory here. We don't really see the red player going for the wind mages, while Joshua probably does go for them. There are no wind mages into play yet. But anyways, quite a bit of swordsman in this engagement. And Joshua tries to sneak the chest, and he's been successful with that, so he trades all of the swordsman for that. And even the crossbow tower. I wonder if it's really worth it, by the way, because he lost a lot of resources. He didn't pretty much kill anything, so he just lost all of the swordsmen, and he sneaked away the chest. So he received 300, and he didn't let the enemy to take it. But now the enemy decided to keep attacking and to develop the attack. But I don't really get it. What does the red player do here? So he was probably scared with the amount of units, but he has the bombardier, right? So all he has to do is just to keep attacking with the bombardier and at the same time control all of the remaining units with the same hotkey. Pretty much the trick I showed in the recent shorts on YouTube, so you may want to check it if you didn't see it yet, haven't seen it yet. But in this regard, with the hero, you probably don't really want to use the attack ground command, but rather than that you just want to have all but your hero in the same hotkey. But anyways, let's see how it will turn out, because the red player tried to retreat, but the blue player's army is really quick somehow. Here we can see the fox and also paladin, and a lot of damage come, and the red bombardier goes down. Stark is now down to 54 supply. And the worst part of it is, here appears the summoning stone, and the mountain elemental now will help the blue player to win the engagement. So those sanctuary transition really were timed really well, in my opinion. Fox were helpful, and wind mages are helpful. And also he keeps adding the swordsman such late in the game. So he really mixed a lot of units. Here we can see the swordsman, the warsmith, the archer, the healer, the fox rider have been not anymore, but still, and wind mages, and also the two different heroes. A great diversity of the army, and thus it is really difficult to counter with only one method. So you really want to have army with diversity as wide as yours. Probably the weak part of the red player here is that he has a lot of mana. He has 2 mana wells, right? So he could have really spammed his ass off with the scrolls. So imagine just him keep throwing the magic blasts. He decided to go for the meteorite though. That's a lot of damage now. And it seems that the red player will probably be even able to survive. He reinforces with the swordsman now. I'm not sure if he really needs to upgrade the barracks now, to be honest. What I would do if I was the red player, I would really kill a swordsman rather than that, but... Alright, still 2 towers of the light magic. One more Fox Rider coming to play, tremendous amount of damage out of that unit. And you know, in the end it seems to me that the red player is not gonna make it anymore. He really had an upper hand in this game, in my opinion. But then it was really the bad move from that top position on the chest through the base and to the summoning stone. So I think that he should have either taken another path and going through the center of the map or even his own base, or probably go into this base but make an engagement here to drag all the units here and trying to sneak away the summoning stone with the reinforcements. So that would be an interesting move. But what he did, he was very undecisive. He went to counterattack, so the units decided to go by and pass through, and lost a couple of units, and then lost a couple of units more. Didn't really re-engage well, so blue player really capitalized on that in the great fashion with a very diverse army, and that was well executed. But I also think that what gave him the chance for that kind of execution was clearly the mistakes of the red player. But of course we all do such kind of mistakes, because that macro play with the summoning stones is not really an easy thing to do in many ways, and I also lose the games like this. Probably I will show you those someday, but this time this game obviously come to an end because the red player can't stand it anymore. So I can just remind you guys that if you like these videos and this game I pick for you to record, please make sure to drop us a like, so that many players and many more people on YouTube find out about our game and probably join War Legends on Google Play. And we're gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.